What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of the Hoops Betting Hour. I am your host, the big man on campus. We are back and live for another day of hoops, hump day basketball. 2 games for you, one in the East, one in the West, as we come back and better than ever. After the winner last night, we'll take it on Brooklyn, +4. Didn't look good early, but they came back. We'll talk about that in just a second. As always, we are presented by Pickswise and powered by FanDuel. Hope you're all having a great day. Let's bring in our co-host for today. He's usually here on a Wednesday. It's Blackjack Fletcher. Blackjack, how you doing? Good to see you.
Fantastic, brother. We got a couple of games to get into here with each with their own little interesting storylines. So, some interesting stuff going on.
Yes, there is. Shout out to you, always matching with the Lightning. They got a big win last night, I believe, as far as I know.
They did. They needed that. They had to even that thing up with the Islanders. You don't want to go down 0-2 going back to Long Island. So
very good.
Good series.
Very good third period for them.
Yeah,
I believe they were down. So
there's that championship experience. That team knows you don't want to go down 0-2 in a series like this. Tampa got it done. We had a long series ahead of us.
Last night in the NBA, the Nets got it done. And really, the story of the night was the iconic performance from Kevin Durant. It was absolutely terrific. I think he has cemented himself. And look, I don't know if it's really that much of an argument. Kevin Durant is the best player in the world. You could say what you want about, Giannis and all these different guys. Look, Giannis can't do what Kevin Durant did last night. I hate to tell you.
No.
You also look at the fact that I know James Harden will get maligned for playing 46 minutes and only have 5 points, but 8 assists, that's pretty big. Jeff Green was terrific shooting the basketball. But I'll tell you right now, no one's going to beat the Nets if Kevin Durant's playing like this. A tremendous second half. And look, the Bucks' old issues come up. They can't win games if Giannis shoots the free throws the way he does. It's just what's he, like 14 for 36 in the series? It's just laughable.
It's a joke. Yeah, it's an absolute joke. You mentioned Durant's performance. That's you couldn't ask for anything more out of the guy. It's an unbelievable performance he put out there. This is still an interesting series, though, Jeff, right? Kyrie Irving, he doesn't look like he's coming back anytime immediately. Harden, you've got to wonder, what are you going to get out of him? And you got to remember, this was still a very close game. So if Durant does just a little less, Milwaukee may be able to win the next game and force a game 7. I don't know. It's hard, man. Giannis is, I think, probably one of the most, if not the most athletic players in the NBA and athletically talented. But no, he's not in the same stratosphere as Kevin Durant.
Yeah, because, when you see the way Kevin Durant can just do everything, it's, and someone brought this up. I did a Twitter Spaces. Someone brought this up. Like, there's just there's stuff that Kevin Durant can do that a lot of people can't. And, you look at a guy like LeBron James. I think, Michael Jordan, they're all the same guy. Like, they're better than everyone else, and it's pretty clear. Yeah. Is Giannis a great player, inside the three-point line? Yeah, he is. I look at Giannis more as like a big. I don't look at him as like Kevin Durant is a wing guardish type of player. Let me ask you, Blackjack. I'm curious about this, and just hear me out for a second. Can you make the case there maybe are 10 players in the NBA you'd rather have over Giannis Antetokounmpo? Seriously.
I could probably get 10.
Okay, so let me ask you.
Before being honest, if I'm starting a team, I could probably get 10.
Right. So let me ask you, Booker or Giannis?
I'd probably take Booker.
Okay. Lillard or Giannis?
I'd probably lean Giannis just because of the age.
Okay. Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell all day long.
Obviously, you take Kevin Durant. James Harden.
Again, I'd probably lean Giannis. I don't know. You could take either one. I'd probably lean Giannis.
But we heard for is stuff like this, is this killing? Giannis continues. How many years in a row is this? And again, we don't know what will happen this year. He may get off the mat and have a great performance, but I don't know if performances like this from Giannis Antetokounmpo. He doesn't do this.
Listen, he has a fatal flaw in his game, which is, first of all, this free throw thing seems to really be in his head. He doesn't seem to be attacking the way that he should be, because let's be honest here, Jeff, the Nets have no interior defense, none, right? There's nothing there. Giannis should be attacking the basket constantly, but I don't think he wants to get fouled. I think it's clearly in his head. He doesn't want to go to the line and shoot free throws because he's been abominable at it. And when you do that, you turn Giannis into a jump shooter, which, all right, fine. I'll live with that.
Yep, live with that all day. Exactly. A fascinating game last night, an incredible performance, very, as one of the chatters says, Jordan-esque, and that's exactly what it was. Also, I'll continue to say it, Milwaukee's missing Dante DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo would, continue to give you a nice 10 to 15 point, amount off the bench every game, and pretty good defender. You don't have that anymore. They don't have a third option right now, and that's been an issue. Thanks to everybody for watching. If you're checking out the show live or on the replay, where a lot of people do, we thank you for that. We've got 2 games tonight, which we'll get to right now. Let's break them down. Philadelphia, the 76ers hosting the Atlanta Hawks. The series is tied 2-2. Sixers are 7-point favorites. Total is 224. Okay, 7-point favorite. So, Blackjack, Atlanta is in a good spot right now. Obviously, the goal is to win at least one at your home building, which they did. But they made it where they were able to win one in Philadelphia as well. Remember that game 1? And it seemed as if Philadelphia, winning 2 straight, was in the driver's seat at halftime. They were going to cruise and go up 3-1. We already saw what went on in that matchup and what Philadelphia didn't do. Now, I maligned the Sixers. Some of this fan base maligned the Sixers. And what I know about the Sixers is generally, when they have a bad performance, they come out and at least play well in the first half of the next game. We saw them do it against the Wizards. Now, let's remember, the Wizards is not exactly a world beater team, and they've done it against Atlanta. They lose game 1, they come right back in game 2 and take care of business. I don't trust the Sixers, to be real frank with you, to run away and win this game by 10.
Nope.
I look at some of the decisions that Nate McMillan had to make over that last matchup, and one of which was you had to get Solomon Hill out of the rotation. Solomon Hill shouldn't play minutes in a game like this, and he didn't. You go back to game 4, didn't play 1 minute in the game. And what you should have done is given more minutes to Kevin Huerter, give more minutes to Danilo Gallinari, and to Lou Williams. I want to see Lou Williams get 15, 20 minutes in these games. I think he can give you 9 to 12 points, and I think he could be a big lift. Huerter's going to give you 10 to 15. Gallinari's going to give you something. And Trae Young, Bogdanovich, Collins, and Capella are all going to give you, 10 to 25 points. So that has to happen. Defensively, I thought the Hawks were much better. I think Capella was right. When you can get Joel Embiid thinking too much about him being tired, being fatigued, it gets in his head. This is not the first time this has happened. So shortening the rotation a little bit for the Hawks, I think, helps. But I'm looking at this and saying to myself, and I don't normally do this, but I remember last Thursday, we had a game where I liked the Bucks. They were a 3.5-point favorite. And I kind of had the thought in my mind, maybe instead of playing this full game, I should just go first half or first quarter or something like that. Here's what I expect. I expect the Sixers at home to come out here in the first half and have a solid little lead, go in, feel good about themselves, use the crowd a little bit, kind of hit some shots, be up 4-6. Maybe the game tightens up a little bit in the second quarter. But I'm going to simplify this first quarter only. And I'm going to expect the Sixers, who generally, early in games, bounce back after a bad performance. I'm going to go Sixers first quarter, -2.5.
Yeah, I think the only way I can consider this thing, Jeff, is to look at the Sixers in that first quarter, first half, because I do not trust them laying 7 points full game. I think they come out and win this game tonight, but can I just say I'm tired of the Atlanta Hawks? I'm tired of this team. They're not going to the NBA Finals. They're not winning the Eastern Conference. Get the hell out of the way so we can see the big boys decide this thing. Go home. I'm tired. You're done. It's over. They can't win the conference, Jeff, right? They can't win the conference. It's not going to happen. So, just get the hell out of the way so we can let the real teams decide who's going to win this thing.
Look, I mean, I hear you. I think ultimately when you get to this point, there is some fatigue in like people that are more neutral fans. I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that this team bulldozed your favorite team. But look, there are some things I think Philadelphia can be happy about, and I want to be objective here. I mean, for the most part, the Sixers have done very well offensively against the Hawks. But here we are, and it's 2-2. And this is kind of the frustration with the Sixers. You know, they seemingly are always have the opportunity to nail the death blow to a team, and they come up empty. And that's really the issue for me with them, where this is not an isolated 1 or 2 game thing. This is what happens. Remember back to the Toronto series when you didn't have a guy to take the shot late in a game.
Yeah.
Atlanta has that. They don't. I continue to believe that Atlanta has to do what they did in Game 1. They need to shoot more threes, which they did in Game 4. It ended up working. I think defensively they're okay, but they have to score. And if they can score, they're going to do just fine here. And they didn't do much of anything. They had no world-beater game by any means in Game 4, but they took advantage of a situation and they got the job done. So, do I think the Sixers win here? Probably, but I think this game's a little closer than maybe the other wins for the Sixers have been. But I'll expect the Sixers to come out with some real vigorous performance here and be up in the first quarter. I'm going to rock with that here. I don't usually play quarters, but I think it's a good spot to back the Sixers here.
It's a smart way to do it, yeah. I mean, especially with Embiid being injured, I guess we'll say, banged up, however you want to phrase it. I mean, who knows what his status is as the game gets further into it. So, yeah, I think if you're going to play this game, you play Sixers early. First quarter, first half, something like that.
You look at the first 3 games, all got into the 220s. Total here, 224. I'd have to figure and envision. People are talking about the Sixers need to slow the game down. That's not really what they do. I mean, they're top 10 in tempo. So
yeah,
I think I'm going to kind of avoid totals in this matchup. I will say Seth Curry continues to be very good in the prop markets. This has been a long-standing good bet. I mean, you look at the other night, 17 points. Seth Curry, I mean, could you make the case that outside of Embiid, he's their best offensive option? I mean,
he has been. He has been. I mean, right? Tobias Harris will have nights where he looks great, and then he'll disappear on you.
Seth Curry's
at least reliable. I mean, when he's out there, he's had problems with injuries, right? I mean, he's been in and out of the lineup, but when he's out there, yeah, Seth Curry can shoot.
Yeah, I mean, you look back at, let's just point out the last couple of games. I mean, 17, 12, 21, 21, 30, 10, 15. He's given this group a real good kind of addition. And look, the thing you like about Seth Curry is he's a volume guy. He shoots the ball.
Oh yeah.
It's rare you're going to see him shoot 6 times or 5 times. He's going to get in double-digit shots every game, a couple of threes as well. So, I think you almost have to kind of look to continue backing him in the prop markets. He's been very good and the second option. So, Blackjack, what are you going to play here? Are you going to play the first half? What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm
not playing anything. You're sick of this series.
I really am, Jeff. Like, I'm because I like the Sixers. They were my pick to come out of the East this year. I'm tired of like holding my breath every time Joel Embiid leaves the floor, and hoping that when he lands, his knee doesn't explode. I'm tired of this Hawks team, and really, I just feel like we know in the NBA where we're going, right? It's going to be Phoenix and Utah out west. It's going to be Brooklyn and Philadelphia in the east. Let's just get to it so we can finally have a playoff series that has some level of interest, because the rest of these playoffs have stunk.
Yeah, I mean, last night's game was good, but it's hard to envision like a lot of games that were actually great. One other point I want to make, John Collins has been pretty good in this series as well. Keep that in mind. Maybe take a look at him in the points market. He's at 15.5. It's a bit high for me just because he's eclipsed that in 2 out of the 4 games. But I'll tell you what, maybe points rebounds with John Collins. He's done a nice job for them. He's been a tough matchup for the Sixers. All right, couple of comments here. Gerald Martinez, the Sixers first quarter. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. Hustle Man, thanks for listening. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for checking us out. Hunter, people will talk about the stats from KD last night, but I think the timing was even more impressive. Turned the series upside down. Exactly. And getting James Harden back was helpful as well, because it took something away from, you can't just double Kevin Durant or try to, get in his way, and you're not worried about Mike James or Bruce Brown. James Harden is that guy that if he could just act as being on the court, that helps. Blackjack, I notice your bed in the background. I always love that you make your bed, man. That's
Yeah, I'm a grown adult.
I don't listen. If you're over the age of 25 and you don't make your bed, I have some real questions about you. I seriously have some real questions about you.
I mean, function is just a grown adult functioning human being.
Yeah. So, Blackjack, do you have time for a quick story that I want to tell you about what happened to me last night?
Yeah, sure.
So, it's about it's about 1 o'clock. I was around 1 o'clock. I generally start thinking about, getting a shower, start turning it down a little bit. And I was watching the end of the Dave Portnoy show. And my office here faces the hallway here. Okay. I live in a building. And have you ever heard a door trying to be breached by individuals? Like, you've heard like just a, like, yeah, you can hear it. It's just trying to get caved in, right?
Yeah.
And there was some thunder in the area last night, so I thought initially I thought like maybe it was thunder, and it just keeps getting louder and louder, and it seems like someone is trying to break down a door and do a home invasion on my floor next to me, and I'm initially kind of worried. Like, I don't know what to,
yes, that'd be a lot.
Maybe it's really late at night. Like, what's going on? So I try to hear something, and I hear two guys like almost like sweating in a way, like they're having trouble. Because I'll admit, the door locks on my doors are real tough, man. Like, you're not getting through them without.
Did you look through the peephole? Do you have a peephole?
Well, dude, initially, bro, I didn't want to do that. I don't know why. Like, I guess there's just like, I'm gonna just try to see if I can hear something.
Just wanted to stay out of it.
Yeah. But eventually I'm like, you know what? This sounds like cops. So I go out and look into people, and I see two cops trying to break a door down. But I'm thinking to myself, why would a cop do that? Like, if you're going to break a door down, you're going to have the whole SWAT team.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just bring a tactical unit?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm thinking, are these like crooked cops trying to do something here? What is going on? So I open the door and I go, you guys all right? Like, what's up? They're like, oh, we're trying to get through this, to breach this door. And I'm like, why are they trying to get through a door? And then randomly, an older woman comes walking up the stairs with another person. And I guess my neighbor, who I don't know, I helped her one time move something in. I don't know her name. I don't know anything about her. I guess she was unresponsive in her apartment. And she couldn't come to the door of some sort. Okay. So they had to call the fire department and the EMS.
Okay, that makes a little more sense.
And then they wheeled her out.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest with those police. Like, that seemed like a little bit of a weird way to get into an apartment. Like,
it does. I guess if you had a reason to really believe someone was in danger in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, because they wouldn't have a tactical unit available for that. So. Although, again, I would think that your building probably has some sort of management office where they have.
No, we do. Here's the wild thing about this place. So, the guy that is like, and he's a good like he's the good super. Like, he takes care of things, but he lives like a half hour away. And I heard him on the phone, and like the other day we had some kid pull a fire alarm out here, and the whole fire department had to come out. Like, I got to get out of here. That's what I have to do. I got to get out of this place. I've been here too long. They're starting to be really lackadaisical with kind of things they're doing. So, yeah, I don't know if that lady's okay or not. I don't know what went on.
Let's hope.
But, seemed like a bad situation. But yeah, maybe those cops should do a different thing. All right, let's get to the other game here.
Let's.
Because I'm sure there's someone. I thought this was a basketball show. It is. All right, Jazz and Clippers. This series has, over the last day, really taken a different turn. Jazz laying 7. Total is 220.5. Blackjack, This is interesting because when I look at this game, obviously 7 points is a lot, but Kawhi Leonard's out, right? And in the regular season, I would be very interested in the Clippers here because I think what public bettors do in the NBA sometimes is they overvalue how many points a player is actually worth. So is Kawhi Leonard worth 5 points in the playoffs? Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's not – in the regular season, I wouldn't think anything of it. I'd be on the Clippers here because I think other people would step up. But you want to limit and shorten your rotations in the playoffs. I still, though, have questions about Utah's offense without Mike Conley Jr., but this seems like a great spot to back them. You have to figure, without Kawhi's defense, that'll help considerably. But I still want Mike Conley back. What do you think here, Blackjack? Are you seeing an angle to back here? Are you seeing an angle to play? What do you think?
Yeah. I'm all over Utah here. I think this is a blowout, a big blowout. Listen, I would have taken Utah in this game with Kawhi Leonard playing. With Kawhi Leonard out, first of all, it takes the Conley situation and really mitigates that, right? Because I'm with you. I want Mike Conley back, but without Kawhi Leonard, I'm much more comfortable here with Utah's offense being a little bit less than full strength because now this Clippers defense is just taking a big hit. And Jeff, let's be real here. Let's some hashtag real talk. Paul George isn't beating the Utah Jazz. Paul George doesn't beat anybody.
That's very true.
Okay? Paul George doesn't beat anybody. He's not beating the best team in the NBA. Not going to happen. Game 5 in Utah. This is one where Paul George comes out with like 14 points and awful shooting, and everyone starts asking him all the questions, and he starts saying that, he needs to go talk to his therapist or something. Like, dude, this guy is going to spit the bit tonight. This is going to get ugly. Utah by roughly 1,000.
Yeah, I'm really happy you alluded to that because that's kind of what I'm thinking here. Utah's not looked good recently, right? Defensively they've not been good. But when you take a player of this caliber off a team that already has struggled at times with rotations and having to play people they don't. You know what this means? You know who's going to play it tonight?
Luke Kennard.
Luke Kennard, Patrick Beverly. Look, all nice guys, I'm sure. But in the playoffs, and they've helped in certain situations. But they've helped when Kawhi Leonard was out there as well. I don't think Marcus Morris gives you 25 or whatever the hell he had the other night. And again, what this means is who's going to have to be in control. You just said it. And sometimes, listen, Blackjack, in the scheme of things, there are bosses and there are guys just meant to be the underboss. And Paul George is not meant to be a boss. He's Silvio Dante.
He's not meant to be an underboss.
What's that?
He's not even meant to be an underboss.
I think he's a second guy. He's a second fiddle guy. He's Silvio Dante. Silvio Dante was not boss material. Tony Soprano was. We all know that. Paul George is a good player. He's not a great player. He's a top 50 player. That's about it. You
might be more generous than I am.
But when you think about that, who's the best player on the court tonight? I mean, who's the best player on the court in general in this series? Donovan Mitchell. I mean, maybe you get something out of Conley, but I agree with you. In fact, I don't just agree with you. I'm going to have some fun with this game. I'm going to play an alternate spread here, Blackjack. Yeah. Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
The Clippers are going to lose by double digits here.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. Sometimes
you have to say to yourself, okay, this is one of those situations where I'm in belief that this is, 121, 107, something like that. And you get kind of crazy with where you want to kind of position where you want to be. But I'm going to just have some fun and lay 9.5 here. At 10.5 at plus 144. I think they win going away. If you want to do 9.5, that's fine. But I want to move this a little bit. I want to get some plus money. I want to try to grab a little bit of profit back.
Like it.
Because look, every dime, every dollar is important in sports betting. If I can grab, a couple extra bucks here, because I again think this is a double-digit victory here for the Utah Jazz. So I'm gonna rock with that here. And again, if you just want to play the 7, that's fine. But first half might be a real good one here. First quarter, I think you'd have some fun with the Jazz here. This is a bad team without Kawhi Leonard. Bad team.
Yep, this is not a good team. This is, let's be honest, without Kawhi Leonard, this is no different than the team Westbrook was playing with in Indiana, right? I mean, it's the same crap. Kawhi Leonard is the guy that makes this team go offensively and defensively, and he's out. So, I mean, Utah's winning the next 2 games here. This isn't going to go 7. Utah wins this in 6.
I mean,
it's over. And I agree with I need money. I don't even know if I would play Mike Conley tonight if I'm Quinn Snyder. I might give him the night off.
This is a proverbial death knell to the Clippers.
Yeah. So
and it sucks. I mean, look, we talked about this with the Suns with Booker. I mean, you don't want to see that happen, or not with Booker, with Chris Paul when he was injured against the Lakers. Like you don't want to see that happen.
Now out again.
Yeah, so it's like it's just rough, man. Kawhi's a good dude. He's a great player, and he's really the straw that stirs them, But
he is.
Losing him sucks. So yeah, let's do that. Let's go Jazz here. I'm gonna lay 9.5. I'll play the 9.5.
I like that a lot.
Where do I want to go? Do I just say F it and go 14.5? Do they win by 15 or more?
Listen, I think it's a big win. When you start to get into those numbers, I don't know. I mean, it's a crap.
All right, here's what I'll just say.
You know where I'd probably go? The highest I would probably go is like 11.5.
Here's what I'll say, just to make it easy for you folks. I'm playing Utah. I think they cover the number.
That's it. Play them however you want. Play Utah.
Obviously, I'm going to do it a little bit different, but I agree with Blackjack. I think Utah is the play here. And again, if this were the regular season, I would look a little bit different here, but it's not the regular season. Let me ask you. I think is it a foregone conclusion that you just bet Donovan Mitchell over points? I mean,
what's the number at?
It's a 33.5. It's high, but I mean,
I don't know, dude. I don't see him slowing down.
37, 45, and 30.
I don't see him slowing down a lot. I don't know. I'd probably.
If he plays 35 plus minutes, he's going to get 33.
Right.
He's going to go over that. So yeah, maybe Utah's team total. I think taking Kawhi Leonard kills them defensively as well.
Ruins them.
Yeah, it's just a really rough injury for the Clips. Tyronn Lewis to go back to the drawing board yet again. Blackjack, couple of pieces of NBA news here I wanted to get to, and then I want to get to a tweet that was said last night that was probably the dumbest tweet in the history of Twitter.
I saw it and I agree.
Stan Van Gundy out after one season with the Pelicans. Listen, I hate to tell you people down in New Orleans, but Stan Van Gundy is not the problem.
Nope.
I don't know what. Why is it always the coach's fault? Look, in Brett Brown's
Sometimes
case,
it is.
In Brett Brown's case, he was here a long time. He should have been fired. It is what it is. But I don't put the problems of what the Sixers have had. I don't totally put them on Brett Brown. How on earth is it Stan Van Gundy's fault? I mean, they're just not good enough defensively. Go out and get good players that are defensive stalwarts. What a brutal. And maybe they want to go younger. I don't know, but
I think that they're flawed in probably more than one way on that team. I also think that they probably have Zion Williamson just a little bit overrated. But
yes.
But I don't know. I mean, it seems to me because I don't think Stan Van Gundy did a terrible job. They didn't make the playoffs or anything, but all right, year one. There has to be more to this. And maybe it's a personality thing with him and David Griffin. There has to be more to this story. You don't get rid of a successful coach because of a bad year one.
Yeah, that's
unless it's catastrophically bad.
Good news coming out of Phoenix, according to sources. Chris Paul is vaccinated. So that would shorten his.
Good.
That would shorten his. Can I ask a question? Why are we still testing for this? Like, am I missing something here?
No, I'm gonna
Like,
I'm gonna
if you're
go
not
you.
vaccinated, like that's your
I'm
problem.
gonna go you one further. I don't know why people are still talking about this. I don't know why anyone cares about
Yeah.
this.
Like, what am I?
It's over. It's
Yeah.
over.
I'm not.
If you
I don't
want a
understand
vaccine,
that.
go get one. They're available anywhere. Walk in, go get one. And if you don't have a vaccine, who cares if you get sick? You've made a choice.
Yes.
There is no reason to still be talking about this.
Like this could be the dumbest. Like why are we talking about like Chris Paul is like first of all, if you know anything about Chris Paul, he's what is he? Isn't he the NBA Players Association president?
He is.
He literally was on a movie about coronavirus.
You saw that, yeah. I mean,
Like, you really don't think he's vaccinated?
Listen,
why is the league actually doing this
Chris Paul
stupid
is
stuff?
vaccinated. He should not miss a game. If he misses a game and I'm the Phoenix Suns, I want to go absolutely crazy.
I agree. The fact that they even ridiculed him and said he's out indefinitely.
I know.
Come on, man. What does this even mean?
I know.
Like, I'm missing like what is going. Like, how is
you have to announce it right now? They're not playing. They're not playing this week. Why are we talking about it right now?
So I don't understand. The Athletic first reported Wednesday that Paul would be sidelined indefinitely as a result of entering protocols. Protocols for what?
I don't know.
And the league has evolved coronavirus relation protocols because of increasing vaccination numbers. So, okay. So, CV's vaccinated. Like, is he positive? Like, I don't understand this.
No, I'm guessing it's probably one of those things where he broke the protocol because maybe his team doesn't have whatever the 70 or 85% threshold, whatever the hell it is. He probably broke some rule, much like LeBron did, except his name's not LeBron James, and he gets a pass.
Oh, yeah. Listen, if he is out for any game, I will. I mean, again, I have I'm not, I don't have 2 million followers, but I will bring down the strength of myself on this league if they do that. I mean, they can't do that, right? They're not going to.
I would be stunned if Chris Paul's not playing Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals.
Also, great for Washington Wizard fans, if there are any. These talks with Scott Brooks have broken down, and he is out as coach in Washington. Great news. Not really sure why they had any interest in giving him a new contract. That makes absolutely
not sure
sense.
Yeah, you get the 10 seed in the East, you get a contract extension.
Yes. This was a tweet last night by Reggie Miller. This was actually a real tweet.
This is bizarre.
And this is from his verified Twitter account. I'm just going to throw this out there to see what the responses will be. If you're Steve Nash and the Nets, would you sit James Harden and Kevin Durant in Game 6 because of the heavy minutes tonight and push all your chips to the center of the table for Game 7? What? That's why you never won anything, Reggie Miller. That's why.
So
what the hell was that?
Punt on your first opportunity to close out a series in lieu of a Game 7.
I mean, what? That is the dumbest tweet ever, truly. And it has almost 8,000 quote tweets and a lot of replies.
But, like you said, that's Reggie Miller.
It's really, really, really dumb. Also, speaking of sports books, bettors have sports books facing a 7-figure liability on Phil Mickelson at the U.S. Open. Well, I'll tell you one person that's not winning, Phil Mickelson. Don't bet him. Don't bet him, folks. First of all, he's old. He's not winning. Second of all, why is everyone so obsessed with Phil Mickelson now? Because he had one victory?
I'll tell you one thing about this. I don't care about any of it. It's golf.
By the way, speaking of Phil Mickelson is a terrible person, and anyone that tells me different will be vilified.
About this, yeah.
Phil Mickelson's a terrible friend.
I don't care about any of it. It's golf. First of all, it's not even a sport. It's an activity, okay? It's an activity. I don't care. Who are you people out here betting golf? Bet on a real sport.
Yeah, I don't mind golf, but I'm not.
You're right. I'm harsh on it. I do put it on occasionally if I want to take a nice afternoon nap.
That is it is definitely a good thing to sleep to for sure. All right, best bet time, and then we'll wrap this thing up. For me, I'm going to go Sixers first quarter, -2.5. I think they come out tonight really high level. I think, you get a couple oohs and ahs early. Maybe they're up 28-21 or something. Damn, whoa. That's a good tweet.
Yeah. Go play golf. Go play some golf.
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna go Sixers first quarter -2.5, and I'm gonna play Utah -9.5 alternate line.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna play Utah. Just play them any way you want it, really. I mean, that's how it comes.
-7.
I'm going to play them -7 myself. I mean, if you want to play them, I would have no problem playing them first quarter, first half, full game. I like your alt line too. I mean, but I will be on the -7.
By the way, this is a good point. Reggie Miller completely extinguished any opportunity to ever be a coach with that comment last night.
I mean, it really was a one where you're just sitting there scratching your head like, what was he thinking?
So funny. But you know what? What the great thing about nowadays is you get some reprieves when you say things now because there's so many by the way, I want to bring this up, and I don't know if there's anyone from Philly that even understands this situation, but it's been made of light recently, and it's probably the dumbest thing. It's such clout chasing. It's so lame. So I guess there's some kid that claims that he's taken his girlfriend to 26 straight Sixer games, and when she's there, they win. And I guess the guy went viral for saying this.
Okay.
But the story makes no sense. So let me get this straight. So you just happened, by the way, because you've been to every Sixer game for the past month and a half, 2 months. You just happened to not be at the one first game they lost at home. Is that? I mean, do people actually believe this crap?
I'm sure some people.
I mean, seriously, is this not a I want tickets, please try to notice me kind of thing?
Of course they are. Of course they are.
Are you kidding? People actually believe this nonsense.
Dude, this idiot's just hoping someone from the Sixers reaches out and offers some courtside seats or a box or some, that's all it is. It's a bunch of BS.
Yeah. Or, hey, Dave Portnoy over here. Hire me.
It's a bunch of BS, dude.
Come on, man. Are you serious with this? Is this guy serious? So you just happen to not be at that game? The one game they lost in this series?
Yeah, game 1.
At home. Come on, man. Yeah, exactly. Game 1, you just weren't there, right?
Yeah.
People do anything for clout. Anything. All right. Blackjack, where can we find you? Let us know what you have going on. Better than Vegas.
Better than Vegas, baby.
Tell people about that because that's a great thing if you're up and coming handicapper.
Yeah, it's like YouTube for sports handicappers. You go on there, you can post videos with your picks, your plays. You can watch other ones from people all over the world. And we're running free contests every week, free to enter, where you're eligible to win $250 a week based on how you do. Who else giving you free money every week? Nobody. Better than Vegas.
Again, you can find that. Just search betterthan.vegas. Blackjack tweets it out, puts it in
all the time. Twitter. Better than Vegas. Hit us up on Twitter at BTVBets.
I see people making their picks already. Big Vin, part-time picks, Blackjack Fletcher, and Blackjack I think put out a play in hockey, so make sure you go get that if you want to hear it. All sorts of people posting picks. So go. That's your. People ask me all the time, how can I get into the business? Well, there you go. There's a start. Maybe if you do well, they'll feature you. I don't know.
We put you on the same level that we're on. You can go head to head against us. So head on over to BTV.
I am on Italy in the under 3.5 today in Euros. If you are interested, Italy has not given up a goal in a long time. They may give up one today, but I think this is 2-1 at the highest. I think Italy probably wins 2-0. So Italy and under 3.5 -105. Blackjack, we released a new pod this morning.
Yes.
It's Wednesday. It's time for the sit down. And then if you enjoy mafia history, mafia culture, mafia movies, anything mafia, the sit down is for you. And I thought we put out a absolutely terrific episode on Al Capone. It is the most complex, detailed Al Capone episode you'll ever hear. And I think we dispelled some myths about Al Capone, a bit of the disillusioned of Al Capone. So make sure you go check that out if you enjoy it. And you'll see why they called him Scarface. You'll see how Al Capone tragically died. And it's a lesson to all you young people out there to handle your sexual health.
Yeah, it's a great episode. Go give it a listen.
Yes. Thanks again, everybody. We're here every day, noon Eastern, breaking down the hoops card. Blackjack, thanks for joining us. I'm sure we'll talk to you a little bit later this week. Have a great night. Appreciate you, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, here on the Hoops Betting Hour. Enjoy the games tonight. Good luck.